Retail contributions can make you completely crazy. If you've been trying to get your listing changed on Amazon and haven't been able to get any luck, but not been able to move the ball forward, retail contributions could be the problem. So there's a couple ways to check to see if you've had retail contributions. So one way to know if you have retail contributions is if seller support has said, hey, you have retail contributions on the listing. The other thing you can do is you can look at Keepa or some other tools, sometimes even Price Checker too, and look at any time in the past, has Amazon 1P carried this product? So what retail contributions is, I know with the wording, it kind of sounds like the picture that's in the background here, that it's something to do with physical stores or physical locations, but it really has to do with the role of Seller Central versus Vendor Central. Even though on the front end, we know that Amazon looks very cohesive and part of all one big piece. On the back end is actually broken up into a variety of smaller pieces. And if you have a listing that was originally created either on the now defunct Vendor Express or through Vendor Central, then getting that listing change on Amazon Seller Central is going to be extremely frustrating, and it's going to take a lot longer than it would to just make a normal listing change. What normally happens is you've tried the flat files, you've made sure you had brand registry, you've escalated to the catalog team, and still you're not getting anywhere. And the reason for that is Vendor Central has more authority. And so if something is created on that side, on that Vendor Central side, in order for it to be changed from Seller Central, it might as well have been made on Mars, because somebody's going to have to communicate to that department. They're going to have to manually make the changes for you, and in order for those to take. So it is a frustrating process. So if you're dealing with this, know that you're going to have to buckle down, and you're really going to have to determine whether this listing change is really important to you or not. After you've checked to see if there are retail contributions, sometimes people will say, well, I know I've never sold my product on Vendor Central, so how did they get that? It could have been that somebody had a Vendor Central account and they were messing with you. It could be that maybe you had a distributor that was selling on Vendor Central on your behalf and you weren't aware of it. So it can be that even if you are the brand owner, that you could have retail contributions on your listing, even if that doesn't make sense, you're not sure quite how that happened. So something to think about there. If you are facing this retail contribution and you only have access to Seller Central, I'm going to give you instructions specifically on that. However, if let's say you are a brand owner and you created and you were selling 1P, now you're selling on Seller Central and you've been trying to get that listing change made on Seller Central, you're not getting anywhere. My first recommendation is, if you have access to Vendor Central still for that account, log on to Vendor Central and make that listing change. It's going to be so much faster. It's going to be easy. It's going to be painless. So whenever possible, go back to Vendor Central and make the listing change over there. However, if that is not an option, the first thing you want to do is you want to gather as much proof as you can that these listing changes are in the best interest of the customer. Things like showing the item on a scale to make weight changes, showing the website of the brand, where showing the product with the listing changes that you want to have made. And you want to include proof of that listing change in every correspondence. You want to make sure that they're very clear that you have a real reason and that this listing change is something that they can say that is going to be consistent with the way that the brand wants the item marketed. If you have brand registry, that can help too, but it is still going to be a painful process. So you want to kind of prepare yourself mentally for that. This is going to be a lot of checking up on, a lot of continuous tickets, and you're going to have to try to get those retail contributions overridden. So make sure that you are also making the listing request changes. They should really be within the style guidelines. Well, we can kind of get away with kind of tweaking the style guidelines a little bit, maybe not quite complying 100% when it comes to making a change on a listing that we created on Seller Central and we're updating on Seller Central. However, if you are trying to get retail contributions overridden and you're trying to kind of adjust the style guidelines, so maybe you're not putting the brand is the first word, then those contributions, that change is very likely not going to be accepted by Amazon. So make sure you're within the style guidelines. One of the things, if you know you have retail contributions, you've looked in Keepa and you've seen that at any point in the past, Amazon Vendor Central carried this product, or seller support has told you have retail contributions, make sure you include that in the listing as well. So there isn't a shortcut. In general, we usually will say that if it was going to take us 1 to 2 weeks to fix a listing without retail contribution, it's going to take us anywhere from 2 to 6 weeks to get listings changed for items that do have retail contributions that we don't have access to Vendor Central. So I hope that is helpful in helping you making those changes. If you're dealing with this, let us know. We're happy to help you if possible, and have a great day.